Welcome to So Much Fun. I'm Colleen Murphy and I teach sewing. Today I want to talk about patterns. You know, we have an inventory of patterns and then we get in there and we look at them and we think, I'd like to use this, but it's not the right size. Maybe you're wanting to make something for another person or you change sizes, but it's going to require you to adjust the size of the pattern. Now, when I show you this trick, basically, it's really for patterns that are multi-sized. If the pattern has only one size, then this trick is not going to work for you. But as you know, this can be real handy for any pattern that does have a multi-size, and I'd say maybe go up one or two sizes. I'm not sure that this would be a good thing to use if you're having to go up multiple sizes. So let's look at one today and learn how to do it. All right, for this demonstration, I found a McCall's pattern from 1992. Very old pattern, but it was multi-sized. And I looked at it and I thought the jacket part of the pattern is something that is very current. And I would use that for my example on how we can change the size. And knowing what size to do, you first should check what the finished garment size will be. And so for a blouse, a jacket, you'll find that information on the front of the pattern. And they'll give you the inches, it'll give you the dimensions of what the garment will finish. And so you have to know what your bust measurement is. So in this case here, it's showing the 10 is at 38.5, and then it goes to 40, 42, and 44. So there's essentially a 2-inch difference here. So if your bust measures 44, you know you're going to have to go to a larger size. So before you ever begin, check on what size the garment is and know what your body measurement is, so you have an idea of what size you need to use. And I've already traced the sleeve to show that before you can make the adjustment, you should trace off from the original pattern the largest size. And I'm assuming we're showing to increase the size, not reduce it. So the largest size was 16. This went from 10 to 16. So I traced it off, and when you trace your pattern, always start with your grain line first. So when you get that straight line, if your paper should move in the process of tracing, you be sure to go back to that grain line and keep it right on there. Also, you know, I always tell everyone when they're tracing lines, definitely use a ruler to trace a straight line. But when it comes to curves, what I do is I just take very short strokes as I go around the curve. I just do it like that. Very, very simple. Now, the trick is this. You take an index card and you place it where, right in this case, where the largest size is, and then the size below it. So from the 16 to the 14, I'm going to make a mark right where that line was. All right, then I know that I'm just going to slide that card up so that it's now on the largest size of 16, and I'm going to make a mark, all right? And I continue to do that process all the way around. I see that it is what it is from the size 14 to the 16, and then I slide it up to where the 16 line is, and then I make a mark. And you continue to do that. You just try it from different places. This looks like it's going to continue to be the same distance, all right? So you're not having to use a tape measure. You're just going to use an index card or a business card. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to make a mark right there where the 14 was. I made the mark on the 14. Now I'm going to make the mark on the card and then slide it up and make the mark beyond the size 16. So it's a matter of going all the way around, That seems to be the same, so I'm going to make that mark again. When you get down here, it changes, and it's very, very slight as to what it is, and you can't even see that there is a difference at this point. So you know that you're going to, let me put it here for a change, right there, and then I come up to here. And once I've gone all the way around, then I connect them. I just do my short strokes and then I connect them. And you notice this is a vintage pattern because back in the 90s, instead of having a little line of a triangle, they had solid black diamonds, and they marked it on the outside of the pattern as well as the inside of the pattern, which was nice. But I'm sorry that they don't do that anymore, but that does take more ink, so they've stopped doing it. So again, you just mark the distance from where the largest size is to the size below it, and then you come out beyond it and make a mark. And in this case, I would take my ruler and draw the line, because I like to have a straight line. I don't want a, let me draw another line. So we have two there. Let me make sure that's the same. That's going to be the same, so I'm going to put it right down here. And I'm going to make a mark. And then I'm going to connect those lines like that. And then I can make a new notch like that. That isn't going to matter. There we go. And then I continue on. There we go, mark that there. The bottom line, there's no difference, whatever the size is. So it's very, very simple in using your card to measure the distance from the largest size to the next size down, and then that's the distance that you want to go beyond the largest size of the pattern itself. Now I noticed in looking at all the pattern pieces for this particular project that the pattern had separate pieces for the different sizes when it came to the facing, the back facing. So when that happens, you can just take your pieces and put them together. Again, you're looking for what the difference is. I hope you can see that, what that amounts to. And really the important part of the facing in this case is what it is at the neck. When it comes out here beyond that, it's not so much, because actually if you've ever looked at my video that I have on my channel about how you can change your neck facings and bring it down another 2 inches from the original pattern, and that way you can have your label there if you so wish, but it adds length, which helps to keep that facing inside the garment, even with understitching. But anyway, put the 2 sizes together and make a comparison to see, and it's very, very slight, but there is a little bit. But this is a situation where this is size 16, and then the one underneath is size 14. So there's just a slight difference there, but you want to make sure you do that for the size you're making, which would be the next step up, which would be 18. I have students ask me all the time about the tracing paper that I use for my patterns. And actually, it is medical supply paper. I don't buy it from a sewing store. I buy it from a medical supply house. I do it online through Amazon, of course. And it's the same paper that you find when you go into the doctor's office on the examining table. And it comes up, oh my goodness, I've forgotten how many yards, lots of yardage. And it's either 21 inches wide or 18 inches wide. And one roll of it will last you a long time. But it's the perfect type of paper because it is thin, and that but yet you can see through it as well. It's not like freezer paper where that's so dense that you'd have to be using a light box for that, and tissue paper that you use with gifts. that size requires you to have to tape the paper together before you can draw out some of your pattern pieces. So it's medical supply paper. That's what it is. And you can buy it online, and it's a great way to trace your patterns. I hope this video will be helpful for you. The next time you're going to use a pattern and you know you have to make some adjustments to it, just take an index card and you'll be ready to go. I also want to suggest that you keep your patterns, because now all of the major pattern brands have been bought by a liquidator. So we better hang on to what we have. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and have so much fun. And don't forget to subscribe.